How does this work?
My standard is you must eat my pies on the day they were baked.
You see how serious
I'm
she's
just
looking at
serious.
his listeners?
I am
She's
so
looking
serious.
like,
So I had a student who always loved them, and I would say, okay, I have these pies, and if she didn't eat them on the day I bought them, I was like, you know, you're not eating my pies. Just like any other baked good, when do you eat any baked good?
did you tell her she couldn't have your pies?
Right, if she didn't eat them on the first day, no, I don't deliver.
You want them fresh.
Yeah.
You want them good,
because
fresh.
yeah, you go to the trouble of doing that. I would get up early. You know, I'll get up early at 5 o'clock to make sure that if I'm going to carry them somewhere, they're ready.
Right.
So, but as I said, when you go to the bakery, you want what they bake today. You don't want a day old bread.
There's a
And
reason
my-
they sell that for cheaper, right?
Exactly. Yeah, and so I don't want secondhand pies. So that's why I get up and I make sure that they are fresh and crisp. And these are probably even still a little bit warm.
I keep almost reaching.
Well, let's go ahead and reach for some in the meantime, because I feel you want a pie, Mom?
thank you.
Okay, so I don't really eat a whole lot of pies and stuff.
don't.
I don't, but I do like these, and one of the reasons, I'm just going to describe this pie. It's small, I would say, what is it, maybe 2.5 inches or 3, maybe 2.5 inches in diameter, and there's little chopped up pecans, and it's kind of glazed with whatever I guess you might put over it, but no glaze. Okay, strike that from the record, please. But there are pecans that go all the way down, and this is something you do that a lot of people may have complaints about pecan pie being that kind of filler. So why did you do this? Is that your own taste, or people requested, or what?
That's my own way of trying to limit the amount of gooey, sticky custard that's in the pie. Because normally in pecan pie, the pecan's on top, and you cut down and there's this gooey custard in it. So, and also you have the gooey custard is pretty much sugar.
Yep.
It's just sugar. So this way, I fill the cup with pecans, chopped pecans, and it's so the custard has to go between it, so there's not as much of it. So you don't get as much as the sweetness and the syrup and everything, and you have mostly pecans and a little stuff to stick it together. But I think that's a better way to do it. So
And is this a lot more labor intensive to do mini pies like this than a big pie, in your opinion? Or
I just and it's easier because I'm always sharing food.
Yeah.
This is easy. I always think
Absolutely.
about the easiest way to share. So if you already have it packaged, then you can take it, here, just pick it up and share. You don't have to cut and have a plate. It's in its own container.
Yeah, it's great. Mike's got it hand to
So,
hand right now, ready.
Slipped right out of the foil.
Crazy how that happened.
Did you have to oil the pan
No.
at all? It just came straight out of the pan?
It comes straight up. Now, well, sometimes they get contrary, so I'm very glad that one behaved for you.
Contrary, these pies act trifling, Mom.
At times.
Let me find
at
out.
times.
What?
At times.
Girl. Okay,
At times.
so you told me about another thing, and I don't want to give away too much of the secrets because we sell these at festivals around the South. Sometimes you might see my mom at the Cornbread Festival in South Pittsburgh, Tennessee, selling pies. But one thing you did say that you kind of do a blend of the cane syrups.
Yeah. So that it's a lot of people, the one thing that they say is that, oh, your pies are not as sweet. Again, with the pecans there, that reduces the amount of the custard. But the other thing is that I kind of do half and half of the dark and light cane sugar, cane syrup. And that blends it a little bit better. It's not as heavy. I do less sugar.
Okay.
And these have a hint of bourbon.
All right.
Oh,
I'm going
they
to try
have
to get mine
bourbon.
out. I'm going to have a bite. It looks so good.
I didn't know that you put bourbon in them. Do you always put bourbon in them?
Every now and then.
Okay. Was this from my bar?
From
You
your
used some of
bar.
my
Yeah, I
bourbon?
found it. I found it. So yes,
Okay.
I broke into your bar.
Only since you turned 21 did you start putting
Yes.
bourbon.
Oh yeah, because I've never had
Yes.
bourbon before then. So
Those are delicious.
It's and again you can see the pecans go all the way down, and that's big to me because again that big middle part of the gooiness, it's almost like icing on cake. I scrape that stuff off. It's just kind of like that's going a little bit above and beyond. But this is kind of like, oh, that's true pecan, and there's enough pie that's in there.
It makes it pie.
Yep. I also like your mini sweet potato. Do you make the mini sweet potato pies anymore, or you just make the big?
I do. Well, most people ask this. That sweet potato was always your favorite.
Yep.
And so that's something that people also like too. I have my own way of putting that together and my own process and procedures.
So you mentioned your mom had a couple of dishes that she executed really well, and it sounds like you do as well. The pecan pie, the gumbo, sweet potato pies. What are some of your favorite things to make?
I do like spaghettis. I do like pastas. And I do.
I love pasta.
I do like a shrimp scampi. When Mike arrived last Saturday, I had made shrimp fried rice.
You did?
And and I didn't even know he was coming, but there he was. And he made himself at home. He had it for breakfast the next day, and I think he had it for lunch the next day. So I like things that I like to cook things that require simmering.
Okay.
I don't like fast flash in the pan. I like to simmer. I like to make homemade chicken noodle soup. But
which is excellent. Which is really good. I just wanted to give a shout out to the homemade chicken noodle soup. Okay, sorry.
But that's I prefer.
So you like to kind of stand over and watch
cut up and chop up
yeah.
and mix up and see what you get.
Yeah, one of my favorite things to make is risotto because I like the time. I like pouring in cup by cup and stirring. There's a lot of Instant Pot and quick risotto, and for me, when I make risotto, it's almost like a calming.
Same as lasagna.
Activity.
You have to make the sauce. You have to so people say, I can do lasagna in 30 minutes. I say, you're not making lasagna. You're making something else. If you make that's
you
not
put
lasagna.
the word weeknight in front of that lasagna, right? Make weeknight lasagna and make it fast.
What else did you enjoy cooking, or do you enjoy cooking now? Has it changed over the years?
Probably.
Because I know you didn't used to want to make the gumbo.
Why did I not want to make the
Because you didn't want, I remember this, because you didn't want to devein the shrimp. And that was
Well,
like where I started.
But I still don't, and I have a wonderful husband who deveins it for me now. So
Who
I
gets
don't
the gumbo at the end, right?
Well, and he doesn't eat as much. I mean, I really should make Mike come do it and just freeze it because he's the one who eats about 4 or 5 bowls a day when he's there. But he's the avid gumbo eater. But now, because my husband's from Jamaica, I do jerk chicken, and that's another. I don't think I can name anything that's not something that you really favor.
That's great. I appreciate that too. Yeah, I just eat a whole lot. I think, remember, for the longest time, you were surprised that I ate succotash for some reason. Or not succotash, but the okra, corn, and tomatoes.
Yes.
Which I always ate okra and corn and tomatoes, but you just, every time I eat it, you're just shocked. What? The boy is eating okra, corn, and tomatoes?
Yeah.
So did you teach Mike to cook? Did he stand with you in the kitchen?
He really didn't. He kind of, I guess, was watching when he was walking through, but he was never sitting there. He was always out. He was very active, so he wouldn't sitting and watching me would not have been something. And if he were sitting in the kitchen, he had a book in his hand. I'd have to make him put the book down. It's time for dinner. So he was always head down reading.
What got you into cooking then, Mike?
It really, I was paying more attention to Mom than she probably realized. And so she was cooking all of the time. And I was just kind of like, okay, how do you get this taste? And another reason is because my friends, who I love y'all dearly, but some of y'all's parents can't cook that well. So I knew there was a difference between what Mom was doing and what they were doing. So I just started noticing. And I remember one of the first things was the mixture of like soy sauce and Worcestershire sauce to like make something else. And I was like, oh, and so I started using it on spaghetti and everything. And that was kind of like, I just noticed these same cast of characters of ingredients would be out on the counter all the time. And so from there I was like, oh, you can mix things and you can do this and all that. And I just kind of like, I wanted to eat and feed myself. So I just kind of like followed.
And I was never afraid of spices. That's the other thing too. I thyme and I'm a big spice fan. You can change anything for good set of spices.
I feel like in the South that the stories that you guys are telling are very true for a lot of families where it's you're around, people are cooking, you're paying more attention than you realize, and you just, it's the fact that you were cooking and that you were there, and Mike picked up on that and, has become so interested in it as an adult and feeding his own family and spending time with his daughter as well, which is just so cool.
Yeah, Southern people, I think the whole thing is, with me, it was really about, and especially now as you get older and Southern food is a thing, as we know very well, is someone had to actually make this stuff and someone had to watch and learn, and they watched their mother and grandmother. So it's just the tradition of things.
So speaking of mothers, we're going to talk about what moms really want for Mother's Day, so get your brains turning. But before that, we'll do a quick word from our sponsor, which is Bojangles. And at Bojangles, they're all about the biscuits, which we know. Every Bojangles biscuit is made from scratch with the freshest ingredients, which are mixed, kneaded, and hand-rolled through a 48-step process by their specially trained and certified master biscuit makers every 20 minutes, all day long. Fresh biscuits all day, every day. What are you waiting for? Come on in and try one at Bojangles today. It's bow time.
It is bow time.
It's always bow time.
It is really always bow time. Those are some good biscuits. They are. So, Mom, what do mothers, and I'm asking this because I have a mom, so you might know some ideas of what she might want for Mother's Day.
You have this mom, and then you have your wife, who is a mom.
There are moms all around.
I'm a mom if you want to give me a gift.
Everybody's got to get a gift, everybody. So, and it's good. let me ask both of you all, what do mothers want for Mother's Day? And I mean, there's gifts and there's brunch is, of course, the big thing. But what do moms want?
I think it changes over time.
Yeah.
You know, there was something that I wanted when I was younger, and now just time.
What would you want when you were younger?
You know, you kind of want some flowers, or you want a card, you want something. But now the coolest things is when you send me notes or something like that. And I did tell him that my coolest Mother's Day was, I think you were in college, or you were still in here. Maybe working here.
Yeah, I was in
yes, you're in
Atlanta.
Atlanta, and he had said he was coming in that Saturday evening, and I hadn't heard from him, and so it got to be Saturday night. And I go to bed, I'm thinking, well, this is, stinks. And so I got up and got dressed for church, and I'm thinking, I'm just not believing this. And we pull out of the garage, and I look at the mailbox, and there's this huge, huge bouquet of all kind of balloons and all kinds of other stuff on my mailbox. And he had put a note saying, hey, had to rush back to Atlanta, have a wonderful mother. And I thought that was the coolest thing because, see, I was disappointed, and there I was. The whole community knew that I had gotten celebrated.
Aw,
so that was
that's so
that
sweet.
was
Give him
cool.
a little kiss. That's right. That's
I
right.
don't take a lot. I don't take a lot, Yes.
You know, it's funny. I'm a new mom. I have a son who's 15 months old, and number one, what I really want is to sleep in.
Yes. Yes, sleeping.
But other than that, I just want to hang out with my family and spend time together. I don't need a gift.
Yeah.
I never say no to gifts.
Right, I
But
wouldn't, yeah.
It's not absolutely necessary.
it's not. And
Sometimes.
we in my family, my parents live very close. My mother-in-law's very close, and so we just all get together and go out for brunch and don't cook. Right? I'm sure. I don't know for you. I love to cook too, but it's nice to have a day where you're like, okay, I'm not cooking today. I'm just gonna relax and you cook for me.
Okay, so yeah, well then, so is it really a thing of where you'd rather go out and get the brunch, or you would rather have someone do the breakfast in bed thing?
Have someone do the breakfast at the house. I'm not necessarily a breakfast in bed, but a chill out, cool out kind of day.
You get the crumbs all in the bed.
And then you feel kind of rushed at it when you go out and you're sitting there and people are in line, because Mother's Day is
Busy.
the day where, so you feel like you need to eat and move on. But if you do it at the house, you can have it sitting out, everybody can move around, the kids can run around, they don't have to sit at the table. It's a much looser and freer environment.
What has to be on the brunch menu?
Mimosas.
Ah, yes.
That's
Let's just get a little quick high five.
yeah.
Appreciate it.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Mimosas, fresh fruit for me. Some sort of egg dish.
Yeah, yeah.
Just relax.
You're doing no
Anything
waffle,
that pancake. Anything I don't have to clean up, I'm good with.
Okay. Well, that would be bad if, like, you were the mom and it was like, here's this delicious food for you, Mom. Also, can you clean this up when you're done?
But
now?
it's at your house. Even if my husband will cook and I'll clean up, or I'll cook, and I don't mind. When there's a mess, I want to clean it up. I want my house to look nice. I want to help out. But whatever I can do to avoid that is good.
One thing I'm gonna just bring up here is that I have noticed that we've always been very close, but priorities kind of change when you have a child that becomes a grandchild. I know I am loved, but I'm not quite as loved as another member of the house, and we've discussed this. So I don't think it's I think she can. I think Mom, to speak if I can. I think you love seeing just a teensy little bit more. If we're both dangling from the cliff, I think you'd be like, he'll be okay, Sienna. Like he's done a good job. He's with his life. He's saved all that stuff.
Well, he thinks that even more because about a month or so ago there was a storm here in Atlanta, and I called him. I said, Sienna can't stay in her room. And so he said, no. I said, no, you have to bring her in your room because there's these tall trees, and I'm in Huntsville now, bossing him around. You got to take her out of your room, put her in the bed for you all. He said, what if the tree falls, if something falls on us? I said, between you and Jacinta, y'all are tall enough to keep her sheltered. So she'll be
crushed by the tree, basically.
Yeah. You all are the buffers. So, he's like, yeah, she is. But when, she's pretty perfect. I mean, she's
super cute.
I'm serious. I tell people all the time, I said, really, I'm not bragging. I'm not being, whatever. But they say, how's your grandbaby? I said, she's just perfect. And they just, so she just really is. She's the coolest little girl I know.
Mm-hmm.
She absolutely is. She cried this morning when she went to school.
Well, she's always crying.
She's not.
She'll be all right.
She never cries.
Do some push-ups.
She's soft. She's tender-hearted, but she never cries. She's not a crybaby.
You don't see it. She's not a crybaby. She's definitely not a crybaby. She's tough, but she kind of will do this thing where she starts and she's like, trying to like get it together and like
She's a big
look
girl.
tough because she's trying to hold on.
She is. She's
There is
pretty up there.
something special about grandparents and
Oh,
grandchildren.
yeah, it's
I
like-
get bypassed, right?
Yeah.
They're,
Yeah.
Oh, thank you for bringing over my grandson. Like,
dress
also
with-
your daughter. No.
What are you planning for Mother's Day, Ashley, to its cold?
So my dad is on a golf trip, so he is going to be gone. So my mom and my husband and son and brother and sister-in-law are going to spend some time together. Actually, this is what moms really want. I said, I don't care what happens the rest of the day, but at some point during the day, I want my free ice cream cone from the ice cream shop down the street from our house. They give free Mother's Day ice cream cones, and so that's all I want. I just want my free cone.
Go cash in on your
right.
free client.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yep. And Mom, what would you say is kind of like for a mother, you know, like what's been, you know, what's been the thing that has changed, you know, most since you became a mother? Like, you know, in the sense of who you are, you know, the greatness of who you've raised me to be and all that stuff. You can shout me out. It's okay.
The glory of that.
I'm a
yes.
good great.
Well, probably, and I've shared, you know, I was at Michael's house and we had talked a long time late into the night. And he went to bed. And did you tweet that out, or did you just put it on Facebook about Mom is here tonight? Mm-hmm. And we had a long conversation. And he put all this stuff in there. And it's, at the end of the day, it's like it's one of those profound statements that you know he got it. You know, at the end of the day, no matter what trouble he's been, at this point in his life, he totally got it. So I've had that framed, and it's in my living room on the wall, his whole little paragraph, and all that he said about who I was and why he's so sure about other things because of who I was. So that, when you put it down and I can see it, and I know that came straight from your heart, it's like, oh, very good.
You're
He
like,
got it.
My work is done.
He got it.
Well, I would say that you have probably shown me more than anything else how to look at things deeper, how to be more analytical, but in a very caring way, and to take care of people and to be patient, and probably good for me because I'm learned to calm down a little bit more than I used to be, but it's still, I would say mostly is, you know, just have a really good heart and very forgiving, and I love you very much.
I love you.
Wasn't that wonderful?
But we're going to talk more about Mike's troubling days in a
let's do
moment,
that.
right?
But for now, Kohler. At Kohler, you will find the super stylish Monte Carlo round bar sink by Callista, which features reflective, hand-hammered finish accents and copper construction for reliability and durability. Now, this segment is called Bless Your Heart. It's a moment where...
Is it actually called Bless Mike's Heart?
It could be, I guess, today. I'm just going to turn this way and let whatever happens, what happens. Do you have a moment that you would say, bless your heart from raising me, or something that happened?
Which one do I want to
she's
choose?
scrolling through the
Yeah,
catalog.
which one should I choose? We spoke about briefly. I was at work and you were probably 12 or so or something.
Yes.
And I get this call, Mom, we just set the kitchen on fire. What? Well, we put it out. With the fire truck, you know. I get there and the fire truck has come and everything, and he's so proud that he put the fire out. But never mind you, my kitchen had to be, you know, my shelves had to be done over. We had to paint the whole. So yeah,
This was not just a little like,
no, it wasn't. It wasn't that
Okay.
the skillet was on fire. The kitchen was on fire.
Well, basically what happened was that we were frying some home fries, and me and my friend had a really good game of like Joe Montana football or something on the Genesis playing, and we went in the other room and we just left the grease on the heat, and we came out, and my friend like came out and ran back in, and he's like, black smoke, and I'm like, you nerd, like what are you scared of? I'm like, oh wait, we're on fire, the roof is on fire. So yeah, that was.
Did you freak out? Were you like, how did you react?
It was so calm. You know,
Yeah.
the house was on fire, but we put it out.
Yeah.
So he was pretty calm.
Bless
I
my
don't know
heart.
why. Bless your heart.
Bless your heart, you lit. She still came here and brought you pie after you
I
set
think
her
she bought
kitchen
you
on
all
fire.
pie. It wasn't so much for me. Well, I think that's going to do it for this week of Sunday Supper. Thank you so much, Dr. Wilson, Mom, for showing up and sharing your wonderful pecan pie recipe. We will eat these. And we'd love to hear from you, the audience. So make sure you reach out to us with feedback at editor@southernkitchen.com. And also please subscribe at Apple Podcast or wherever you get your podcasts. And please hit your like buttons on Facebook so that you can keep up with us. I'm Mike Jordan.
I'm Ashley Twiscole.
I'm Connie Wilson.
That's right. And remember, call your mom.
Call your mom.
Call your mom. Thanks, everybody.